Do you know what? The weekend was going so well. It was going swimmingly up until this point. I had my brother's communion was yesterday, socially distanced of course, and it was a lovely day. Went and got some food. Went to a bar and restaurant for the first time since lockdown, and it was absolutely beautiful, brilliant, and it was set up beautifully for Chelsea to come in and really, you know, take my weekend to the next level. But Kepa, you couldn't do it, could you? You couldn't do it. Welcome back to The Verdict. Alright then, boys and girls, welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron Kelly and you're very welcome to the Premier League Verdict, the show where we look at all things Premier League related, and for the most part we'll look at Chelsea games from every weekend, analyse them, look through them, and if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. We recently hit 300 as you can see down below, and would be very happy to see more people join the movement as soon as possible. So feel free, it's completely free. You can always unsubscribe later if you want. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 2 at Stamford Bridge this afternoon. It's just disappointing really. I suppose a good gauge-ish to see how much closer we are to Liverpool than we were last season, and based off certainly the starting 11 that was out today, I'm judging that we're still quite a distance off Liverpool. Now, don't get me wrong, and I do think Frank Lampard will be looking ahead to, say, after the international break. After next week's fixtures, we're actually unbelievably getting another international break. He'll be looking forward to that and thinking to himself, well, I'm hoping to have a lot of the players that we signed in the summer that haven't played yet, the Chilwells, the Ziyech's, and Thiago Silva, of course, and Christian Pulisic has also been out since the FA Cup final as well. So I do think that's what Frank Lampard is living for at the moment. The starting 11 that he put out today and against Brighton in the first game is a mashup of players he probably would have liked to see gone in the summer, and those new ones like Werner and Havertz. Today there was one change to the team that beat Brighton last Monday night, and that was that Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who looked quite leggy and lethargic and just unfit in general against Brighton the other night, was replaced by the returning Mateo Kovacic. Obviously he was suspended following his red card in the FA Cup final, and I was quite pleased with the starting 11. I mean, obviously I would like to see the new boys, or at least some of them, in there, but there's not an awful lot you can do. Thiago Silva's still not up to full match fitness, we're being told, and injury still to Ziyech and Pulisic and Ben Chilwell as well. So it was probably the best starting 11 Chelsea and Frank Lampard could possibly field. It was evident quite early on that Chelsea wanted to sit back and not push Liverpool or not press them on the ball and just restrict them to, you know, very few chances. And I think for the first half as a whole, I think we did that very, very well. I thought we were tight, we were compact, we looked actually capable defensively from set pieces and that, areas where we were pretty weak from last season. And overall, I felt like Chelsea defended quite, solidly, quite doggedly. It was pretty ugly at times, but I felt like overall, Chelsea in that first half defended very, very well. And it was just one moment, literally just before half-time. And ironically, it was probably the one time that Chelsea looked to actually press Liverpool high up the pitch, and we lost the ball in an attacking position. Quite literally one ball from Jordan Henderson over the top to release Sadio Mane, and Andreas Christensen takes him down. Kepa's come off his line, and it's literally just a rugby tackle from Andreas Christensen, and I was quite surprised that the referee didn't actually send him off straight away, and he actually had to go to the video assistant referee to see that, it was a red card offence. He's last man. He's quite literally rugby tackled Sadio Mane, and I was surprised that it did take him that long to make that decision. A red card just before half-time, still the game at 0-0, and I think at that point we still hadn't seen many Liverpool clear-cut chances, I would say, and I think Chelsea did look dangerous on the break. Havertz showed a few nice touches. He was kind of playing as the central striker today with Werner more to the left. And, the out ball was always Timo Werner down the left. And, his pace helped Chelsea get up the pitch on many occasions when we were in our own defensive third. It was just one ball over the top. Christensen was caught out of position, as was Zuma. Kepa comes out and was never going to get there. So even if, Christensen hadn't rugby tackled Sadio Mane to the ground, I don't think Kepa would have done anything about it anyway. I think Mane still would have got there first, knocked it around him and rolled it into an empty net. So either way, we're down to 10 men, 0-0 at half-time. Thiago came on at half-time, obviously the new man for the injured Jordan Henderson, and Fikayo Tomori came on for Chelsea, and I will get on to him in a minute, but what I would say is this Liverpool goal to put them in front was absolutely brilliant, and a lovely little interchange between, I think it might have been Wijnaldum and Firmino on the edge of the Chelsea box. Firmino finds himself out wide, whips in a lovely cross, and not the easiest of headers by any stretch of the imagination by Sadio Mane, right into the corner. No chance for Kepa. You could say Reece James maybe caught asleep at the back post a little bit, but even he probably couldn't have predicted Mane to finish it as brilliantly as he did. It was the next goal that I have a big issue with, and it was something that was a reoccurring theme throughout the whole game. And I've had my say, I feel like, a couple of times on this channel about playing out from the back and the pros and cons of that. If it comes off, it looks absolutely brilliant. But if it doesn't, you end up looking like a fucking idiot. Kepa, he spends 2 or 3 fucking years on this ball. Somehow can't see Sadio Mane running, in his peripheral vision. Just nips the ball off him as he goes to clear it and rolls it into an empty net. I mean, that was the most infuriating goal that I've seen in a long time. And he had 2 or 3 opportunities to either clear it or do what he was trying to do when he was inevitably tackled by Mane, and that was to play the ball into Jorginho in the middle of the park. That was the goal. That was 2-0, and it was very much the game killed off at that point. And Chelsea did have a chance later on from a penalty. And again, similar to Monday night, it was Timo Werner who won it. And he was definitely Chelsea's sharpest player going forward, as you would expect. And the new man, Thiago, is jogging back. It's a bit of an unfortunate one for Thiago, because he does Timo Werner's trailing leg, which catches Thiago as he's moving back. But definite penalty, definite contact there. And I had full faith that Jorginho could stick it away. I've questioned Jorginho's techniques for his penalties since he signed for Chelsea. And when it comes off, it looks absolutely brilliant. But when it doesn't, as it didn't today, Alisson saved it. I mean, you look like an absolute fucking idiot. You just do. Jorginho's not going to change the way he takes his penalties. It was just clear that Alisson did his homework on him. And it wasn't in the corner. It wasn't a good penalty from Jorginho. I think it would have been only consolation anyway, because Chelsea really in that second half showed absolutely nothing going forward. And very much down to 10 men. I mean, it's tough enough to play Liverpool with 11 men anyway, with the way they play, that kind of in your face, the way they run till the final whistle, and especially having Thiago in there as a little quarterback in front of Fabinho and Van Dijk. It was always going to be very difficult for Chelsea to, create in that second half. And that was the one moment, really, where it was just a hopeful ball over the top for Werner, and he made a lot of it and won the penalty, did very well for it. Even though we were down to 10 men, I did think even at 1-0, there was still a chance that, Liverpool could get lackadaisical, could take things for granted and make a mistake like they did. Made many mistakes against Leeds last week. That Kepa mistake was absolutely shocking, and there's still talks of Edouard Mendy. There hasn't been any bid, as far as I know, accepted, but whether Edouard Mendy is in the Chelsea squad for our game next week or not, I still really don't think Kepa Arrizabalaga should play for Chelsea Football Club again. And that sounds harsh, but he's had plenty of chances. And the fact that Lampard put the faith in him at the start of this season, he made a balls of it, like he just did. I know I'm not ranting and raving, because it's an early season game, and we are missing majority of our summer signings. It's a very, very disappointing result, and I feel like the game plan was working well, and just that one moment from Christensen and then Kepa, it's 2 big moments in the game really that has cost Chelsea on the day. But we've got one more game next week, that game being against West Brom, who have obviously made it 2 defeats from 2 after they lost to Everton yesterday, so hopefully we can get the result there before a fucking international break. I really can't be arsed watching Ireland anymore. Obviously Stephen Kenny's come in and we lost to Finland and drew the first game to fucking whoever it was, Bulgaria or someone like that, so not looking forward to that. Not ideal, as is this Chelsea result, not very much ideal at all. But as I said at the beginning of the video, boys and girls, I do think Frank Lampard is just counting down the days until he has Ben Chilwell, Hakim Ziyech, Thiago Silva and Christian Pulisic all fit and ready to play in his team. Because as I said as well, I mean, it's still only a mashup of the players that he probably would have wanted to get rid of, and obviously the 2 new ones in Havertz and Werner. One positive I will take from today, though, is Fikayo Tomori when he came on. I've mentioned him already. Very, very good when he came on. And I didn't really understand why Frank kind of dropped him out of the team last season. I didn't think he'd made any really big mistakes for Chelsea last season. Obviously, Tony Rudiger had an absolute shit show towards the end of last season. So it was quite baffling to me to see Tomori just kind of dropped out of the team like that. But he came back in today at half-time after Christensen was sent off before the end of the first half. and he did a very, very good job and didn't put a foot wrong. So that's the one positive I can take from today. Chelsea fans, is there any other positives we can take from this? Timo Werner, I suppose, was sharp as well. If you have anything else, let me know in the comment section down below. And also, do leave a comment. I do like reading comments, so I don't get too many of them. So when I do get them, it's also nice. But yeah, boys and girls, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like. And as I said at the beginning of the video, subscribe if you are new. And I will catch you later. But when we